I'm very fine, David. Niko fiti sana.
How's life been to you?
Taitaje? Taita when the tough.
When the
going gets tough. The tougher keeps going. But maisha ni mzuri. Mafuta ilipanda lakini bado pressure yetu iko tu sawa.
Mafuta ilipanda.
We are hoping for the best.
Has it affected you personally?
No. Basically, almost.
Do you drive?
Nimesema almost because kuna fare. Fare imehike. But as long as mafuta ya kujipaka haijaongezwa.
Arimis.
Arimis.
You saw what they posted on Facebook?
Ile Arimis. Arimis. Boda haijapanda milk
skincare.
It becomes a skincare routine. Naona vile nang'ara ni kuoga na Arimis. So I can say I'm basically good, and that's what you'll hear up in Jotamboy. I'm basically good. So I think I'm basically good.
What do you mean by basic?
By basic? We were told while being in class one that basic needs. We have food, shelter, and clothing. Food, shelter, and clothing. I sometimes argue that clothing is part of shelter.
Okay.
But
there's so many factors that shape our lives. And the most important thing I think that we really need to consider is the state of our health. And basically our mental health comes first. Because if you are a sane person, it's easy to make decisions, it's easy to do the right thing, right?
Because even when you're in court, when you're being placed in front of a judge, they first have to test your mental capacity to see if you're sane enough to go through or to go along with the hearing. If not, or if you're declared insane, then the hearing ceases to become a hearing and it becomes a medical.
What was the topic today that we wanted to tackle?
Today we are just here. We want to tackle the basicest. There's no word like that, but the basicest. We want to tackle the basicest form of what you mean by niko sawa.
Niko sawa.
Ile part ya kaa uko sawa, mimi niko sawa. The basic what you mean by niko sawa. But by that, without trying to get philosophical and such, we just want to see life the way it is.
What is the most basic greetings when you meet a friend or someone you know?
Bro, uko aje? Ama mazo uko aje? Ama how you doing?
Someone says what?
Niko fiti sana. Someone says niko fiti sana.
But beyond that, do we really ask people how? Are we really interested in getting to know how these people are?
No.
It's just a formality.
It's just a formality. It's like kuamka asubuhi na kufungua macho. It's a routine we got used to over time. Despite even I remember my Kiswahili teacher once taught us and told us, hata kama uko vizuri kusalimiwa, ulizo habari yako, sema mzuri, alafu ongeze lakini. That's what we were taught. You start by saying mzuri, and then you add lakini if there's something bad about it. But since we stopped hearing at mzuri.
Are there things that help us to open up about our situations or in our day-to-day conversation? Do we get beyond that point of greetings? Do we always take time to even get to know what the other person is going through?
No, we don't. I say no, we don't because we've met with you today. Okay, we do. How are you doing? Uko vizuri, and then we talked about stuff, and then after some time, uko vizuri lakini. But I don't think most times we do. We go there, we do what our business, or we go there and we go straight to the business that brought us. We don't take time in trying to know other people because to assume ni kuingilia maisha yake. Sindio? Alafu pia the world has been formed in such a way that kuna walls, kuna levels. Kuna mtu mwenye friend wa kawaida hawezi kuuliza na kuna kitu, for example the notion of best friends and confidence and stuff. So most times we assume that other people that just like you, because there are some people who are comfortable with saying how they feel, or kuna watu tu mazee watafika na waseme tu, the people who are, how can I say, wako na, can I use EQ? Nitumie EQ, si ndio? Kuna wasee tu wenye wako watakam na they'll tell a person that by them I'm going to this and that and that and that. And then kuna wale wenye mazee strong. For the lack of
Strong.
I think you strong when you feel kuna wale tu wako strong, si ndio? Yeah, so we don't get past that. We assume by the.
There is also the modern culture that cuts across all the tribes and you know, and different communities in our country. So do you think that our modern culture also contributes, or our current, how do I say, socialization and our current, say, preoccupation has affected how we get to deeper conversations with people? Yeah, it has, because you will notice that they are different. We used to call it register. They're different register. For example, ukienda kwa hotel na useme nipe chai mbili. Chai cannot be counted, sindio? Yeah, so there are different places on how we relate with people. Okay? You'll find out that in places there are some office, let's say, how can I put it? There's some location culture or like an occupational culture where you have to speak about, for example, if we go to AA, there's AA meetings. Let's use the AA. Recovering, where a group of recovering alcoholics are there, they will speak openly about themselves. True or false? True. Yeah, and then you will come to a place where it's a client-based, customer, seller-based. Yes. We don't go beyond the niaje unauza ingapi, ama how much do you charge for this? Yeah. The notion that kila mtu akona shida zake, si ndio? As brought about the notion of one man for himself. But if we are to go back to the former times, we were almost there. But I think the more we advance, the more we are parting ways. Yeah. We have reached a place where now people are starting to realize that mental health is important. Now they are forming cultures. They are forming cultures, not only cultures, they are forming mediums. Yeah, mediums. There is a place, they are forming safe spaces. They are forming safe spaces. They are forming safe spaces. So I don't think we'll reach that place, but what I think it might happen is that people might come to learn, or rather unlearn, because this stuff we grew up with, they were taught, they were inculcated into us. Yeah. But nowadays the trend is that people are being told, oh, trust no one. You see these trends, people are writing, oh, I'll never trust anyone again, trust no one and such. They are destroying us, and they are cutting and they are destroying the very being of togetherness and trying to open up to someone. So I think where we could head very well is safe spaces being created. Okay. Yeah. And talking about safe spaces, in our society we have different groups, or we are communion. We have families, and that's where community starts. Do you think families are some of the safe spaces where, or have they succeeded in creating safe spaces where people can share their issues and probably get to solve them within those units?
Now that is objective.
Okay.
There are families who have successfully done that.
Okay.
But there are families where that can't happen because the family is responsible for the disease. Disease. It is responsible for what is probably maybe eating or not, or they're responsible for that person being. Let me just use being at all, because the charity begins at home. Yeah. Charity begins at home. Yeah. So the domino effect, it starts from home. So if a family is responsible for someone's not being comfortable with, with how they are feeling,
like if they are responsible for providing a toxic environment.
Environment.
Yeah.
That family can't come to be a safe space anymore.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it is subjective. That's why when we talk of safe spaces, it needs a common ground.
Okay.
It needs a common ground, a common ground where msa atatoka hapa, mwingine atoka hapa, and then there is a common ground here.
Yeah.
Ground zero, if you might. That will work better.
That will work better.
Yeah, but it is not bad for families out there watching us. Over time, we will see ways on how that can happen. It's not bad if families began being a safe space and encouraging their family members on how to go about such stuff. It will be for a greater good.
Okay. And I think it comes from a point of awareness. You have to be aware that whatever is going on within you is not healthy. Once you are aware of it, and if you are aware of the triggers, like if it's your environment, then it's so easy to make a change for the better, and now you can determine your other outcome of life in life.
I have a question. Yeah. How can you be aware? Let's say, for example, the environment you're growing in, all have the same trait. So how, awareness, how does someone gain awareness?
Well, first of all, is you cannot be aware if you're playing the same environment.
Exactly. Yeah.
We say the same environment that produced the same poison. And the same environment that triggers negative behavior, negative beliefs and thoughts, you cannot overcome it by not being aware that, and then also by not being aware that you can overcome it, and then also by not being aware that your environment is affecting, is the one that's affecting. So there has to be a change in the awareness comes when, especially with knowledge.
Yeah, with knowledge.
When you interact with knowledge, because there are people who think they are victims, but once they are exposed to a certain knowledge and they are told that they are higher beings, that they can think out of every situation, they start to have a different shift in their thinking. And that turns everything. You
said it well. I'm also an advocate. I usually say two things. One, people are mean but love them anyway.
People
are mean but love them anyway. Number two, we are made for cooperation.
Yes.
So another mode or how you can be also aware is by interacting with people.
Yes.
Interact with people.
Do you know what really affects us? Sorry to interrupt. We are competitive.
Exactly.
Or our environment has taught us to be competitive, where I want to look better than you instead of cooperating with you.
Now that you say that, do you remember how we compete over traumas? At hey, mimi nilichapwa. Hapana, wewe kuchapwa vile nilichapwa. Yeah, that happens, right? Uko like, mimi nilifungwa nikachapwa ati hapana. Wewe usikie mimi nilipigwa na nini na miti ya jembe. I mean
because everyone in their own thinking. You see now, it's our own environment that shape our thinking also.
When tukianza I said we need to unlearn.
Yes, to unlearn.
Yeah, because
so what are some of going there? What are some of the things that we need to unlearn?
That
that you think over time has conditioned us to become selfish beings or self-centered people that not it's all about me or how I succeed and all that.
Okay, number one. Kama mtoto wa jirani. Ona mtoto wa jirani asumbui kama wewe. Unataka kama yule mtoto. We need to unlearn that. Because hapo hivyo, a child has been told, for example, this statement, usikae kama yule mtoto. That means ashaambiwa, mazee huyo, huyo mazao achana. Hiyo bad. Hiyo ni standard ya bad. Hiyo nini ya bad, esa unit ya bad. Alafu akiambiwa kama ule, hiyo ndio esa unit ya good.
I remember we had that a lot growing up.
Exactly. You'll scare you.
Be like so and so.
Be like, that's number one. You need to unlearn that. Number two.
Comparison,
kaa kama mwanaume.
What do you mean by that?
Okay. Now, though there are some good parts to it, I'll say this with a lot of caution.
Explain
exactly. With a lot of caution. That's a disclaimer. I'm saying this with a lot of caution. So don't hold me accountable to whatever I say. That's a disclaimer. Number two, whatever I say, okay. So
you're responsible for what you say.
I'm responsible, but
advice.
Don't hurt. I said, responsible, but accountability. Now, you see, unaambuka kama mwanaume.
What does that mean?
Sasa mwanaume ni ule msee mwenye mazee atakaa shida na mchapa aje wewe mazee wewe tu nyamazia ama o mwenyewe si you
And
can
it
handle
happens in
it.
the male gender, right?
Yeah, it happens to the male gender sana by the way.
That
Kak,
men don't cry.
yeah, men, okay. But basically, just a side note. Men do cry, but their tears go to the stomach.
Wow, that's a new point I've learned today.
It's true. You know, when we cry, our tears come here and others,
We swallow.
yeah, we swallow. You ever felt that? Yeah, but for the male, I think somehow, I don't know how we learned this, but we were trained that over time. Because
the tears should come back, to
Yeah.
go backwards.
Yeah, because we can't allow it to be seen.
Yeah.
Our mind, our body has developed that our tears go back. Yeah, but
Okay.
yeah, but I think that being taught that growing up, and that you should be a man, and that you should not do some certain things in a certain way. It's been very harmful. Though it's been good, but it's also been very harmful.
It applies in certain situations.
Yeah, exactly.
But
It
not
happens.
every
Yeah.
other situation.
Yeah, so here come the awareness part. Yeah, you have to be aware. You have to be aware or you have to be knowledgeable enough to know this situation has to be handled this way. Yeah, that's why you have. Thank you. You said that you have to interact with knowledge. So I advise you.
Yeah.
Take a book. That's how you learn the world and other people. Take a book, read it. Go find people, ask them, discuss with that person. It has helped me a lot. It will help you a lot.
True. And then there's also this notion that we fear. I don't know why we fear each other. There are people out there who are ready to listen to your story.
Exactly.
There are people out there to help you actually. And before you make that last decision and say, me, I'm done with life, I'm committing suicide or whatever, give it a try. Yeah?
Yes, you
Look
must.
for someone,
Yeah.
maybe someone of authority or a friend that you think probably you can trust, yeah? And there are many people. There's also professional help that can help you get out of that situation. So before you take the last resort and do damage to yourself, I think it's important that you be aware that there are people who've gone through it and overcome, and there are people who are ready and willing to help.
But the people will listen to you. Don't assume. Don't assume. This theory is called the original. Avoid the name of it. Oh, the original thought theory. It suggests that there is nothing that hasn't been thought, or that will be thought, that hasn't been thought before, or that will be thought
There's
before.
nothing new under the sun.
Yeah, if there's something new under the sun. So, mazee uko peke yako. Yeah, don't think that, mazee, mi nikaa ni mi, hapana, there's somewhere the same, exactly. Exactly. In fact, you'll be surprised, there's someone going to the nth degree, exactly going through what you're going through. Exactly. Yeah, so don't fear. Don't fear. Go and talk to people. Don't assume people don't care about you.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, you know, people don't, okay, let me tell you why people care about you. Have you ever yawned because another person yawned?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. Now, scientists suggest that it is because of empathy.
Empathy.
Yeah. We are wired to empathize.
Yes.
We are wired to empathize. So next time ukiona mse mwingine ayon, ni because the other person is anakusupport, man. Anakwambia, man, you're not in this alone.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, now I feel like yawning. Lakini anakwambia you're not in this alone. Yeah, so you're never in this alone. Anytime you think you're alone, just yawn. Na kama mtu mwingine atayawn, yeye atayawn, ndio mwambie shida.
Can you yawn? There's so much about mental health that has not, we have not even chatted
On the surface.
Yeah, we're just on the surface. Bado tujaingia kwa territory.
Ndio tuna scratch the
Yeah,
surface.
we're just scratching the surface. But there'll be more to talk about, especially like in depth. Probably also we can involve a professional,
Over time.
someone a professional to also guide us with giving us detailed information and reason why some of these situations happen. But for starters, I'd like us to take this journey. If you have questions, if you have contributions toward this, if you think you can make this something of help to someone else, we welcome you on board.
Yeah.
We want you to join us and help us to understand, to bring a broader understanding
We are
Because
still
know,
learning.
we can only discuss
Yeah.
how much we know,
Yeah, thank
and
you.
maybe how much we've read, but there's so much more.
There's so much out
Yeah,
there.
we don't come from different from the same environment. We are wired differently.
Yeah.
And so there are so many triggers, there are so many things that there's a lot to discuss
Yeah,
about this.
a lot.
Yeah.
And you know, some things you might think they are very tiny. So for example, over time, I started to learn that some things which, when you think they are very tiny or very insignificant, they are the most significant one, because they are the ones that they are the causative stuffs.
Yes.
So there are things you think they are
Something
very small.
yeah.
No, I want you even as you watch this and as you get to learn together from this, I want you to go and take a look at the smallest things you think they are small. Kama mzazi kufika nyumbani na kosa kusalimia. How does that make you feel? Yeah, I mean that's how you start knowing and start being aware of the situation around you. So be part of this conversation, be part of this change, be part of helping someone overcome something. I mean, we are made for cooperation. So till next time, it's been fun. We're also learning a lot. I am Collins Kiprotich.
And I'm Debbie Langat. And see you next time.
See you next time.
Cheers.